Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube. I'm Stephen Molesky, and today we're going to do one of my favorite things, complexion. But first, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share. It really helps me know how I'm doing. Now let's get to it. I'm so excited to do this video with my friend, my girl, the one and only Asley. Alright, remember sanitation is always number one with all applications, and especially with COVID. I love this NUDESTIX hand sanitizer. I've been using a lot of it and my hands don't get dry. Clean hands, clean brushes, don't be nasty. So I'm going to prep the skin using COSMEDIX Surge. So Surge is basically a hyaluronic acid booster, and hyaluronic acid is the #1 ingredient I look for in all the skincare and makeup I use because it helps brighten, it gives a glow, and it mainly plumps the skin before you apply the makeup. So next, I'm going to moisturize. My go-to moisturizer for perfect makeup is TATCHA's water cream. It's pore refining, it's lightweight, and it's perfect for makeup. So next, I'm going to add a little bit of powder. Yes, powder. This is the hyaluronic HYDRA-POWDER by BYTERRY. Basically, I apply a little bit all over the nose and anywhere that I want to refine the texture of the skin and also help control oil. Next, I apply the TATCHA Silk Canvas to all the areas that I want the makeup to stay. This is also going to help reduce any of the fine lines, and it's going to keep the makeup in place. I use it around the mouth and the eyes. It just really smooths out the skin. Alright, last I hydrate the lips using JOUER's lip conditioner. This is a really important step so that whenever you're going to do lips later on, that they're nice and ready for lipstick. Now I'm done prepping the skin. Let's start the makeup. I'm using the SHISEIDO SYNCHRO Skin Foundation. I love it because it looks like skin. I'm applying it with a Sigma multitasker brush. I always use a brush and then a sponge. I like this brush because it applies the foundation really quickly and efficiently and blends smoothly. When I select the foundation, I like to use one shade richer or darker, but making sure it blends into the neck. It's so important that it blends into the neck. Also, I don't apply the makeup where I plan on applying concealer. This helps to have a cleaner application with less chance of any caking or creasing. Alright, now I go in with a beauty blender to make sure that there's not too much on the skin. I don't want any of the foundation to look cakey or heavy. I want the skin to shine through. Next, I prep the eyes. I use Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base from NARS. This is just going to really prep the eyelids so that all the eyeshadow and everything sits on the eyes without creasing. So now I'm going to correct and conceal. I love the JOUER Essential Concealer. It's a full coverage concealer with hyaluronic acid in it, which is great around the eyes for reducing any fine lines. I'm also using the shade Honey, which is a little bit richer and warmer, so it's going to correct any darkness around the eyes and around the mouth. My go-to way of applying concealer is always with a brush. I'm using the Ben Nye, this is my favorite brush, the Ben Nye Soft Blender. Basically allows me to shear out the concealer so that it doesn't get too cakey or heavy. It's just a really like almost airbrush application that can really control how much product goes on the skin. Now we're going to go back in and we blend. We blend under the eye area. It's my #1 most important area that you don't want any caking, so it's important to blend in between steps. I use the beauty blender to blend out. I like to press the product into the skin with a beauty blender. This is kind of like a push and pull. It pushes the product into the skin, but it pulls any extra product off of the skin so you don't get any creasing. It's great. Now we're going to contour. I'm using Tom Ford's Shade and Illuminate in #2. I'm going to place the contour through the hollows of the cheek, making almost a triangle shape. I'm going to have the larger end towards the top of the ear and taper towards the hollow of the cheek. Then, because we're going for a super sculpted look, and this product is great for not looking over contoured, I'm placing it on the forehead. This is going to give a very, very defined look without looking cakey or morbid, which a lot of contours can do. And we love a good snatch. Alright, I'm going to use the Scott Barnes brush number 63. This is the perfect brush for nose contour. I'm going to contour through the eye and down the sides of the nose. I'm going to make it sure it's nice and even, but I'm going to place it so that it just gets a little bit more sculpted towards the tip, but nothing too intense. This brush I love because it really just cradles and does the work for you. The trick to successful nose contour is that you don't see it. I place the contour through the eye socket so that it's seamless whenever it comes down the bridge of the nose and gives a flawless, undetectable look. Alright, now I'm going to blend out the contour. I'm going to use a brush. This is going to actually be better than a sponge because I can actually control where I want to diffuse out the product, because I don't want to lose the contour, but I definitely don't want any harsh lines. This is the Sigma Jordan Liberty Structure Brush. I like this brush because it just allows me to really control how it's blending, and it's going to give like a nice airbrush finish. It's a perfect brush for being able to frame out the face. Alright, I'm going to quickly go over with the Beauty Blender to make sure that I don't have any demarcation or anywhere that there's too much product, and the Beauty Blender always is the one step I do in between every step. Alright, I go back through before I do anything else and make sure the nose contour is super perfect and that it's undetectable and blended out, because we want it a nice refined nose shaping, but we don't want it to be too detectable, so I make sure it's nice and soft and blended out. So now I'm going to add the cream bronzer. This is the Fenty cream bronzer. This is just going to add a little bit of glow and a little bit of warmth and brighten and enhance the skin. It's perfect. Now my favorite glowing highlight product is the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Filter. This I apply to the high points of the face. It just really illuminates the face and gives almost a wet highlight and that super hydrated, beautiful skin glow. Alright, we're going to start with eyes. Now I'm going to use a little bit of bronzer as a transition color through the crease. This basically is going to enhance that highlight and contour that we already placed there before, but this is also going to start as a base for how I'm going to shape my eyes. Almost all my eye makeups is I start this way just so that I can see the shape of the eye more easily and how everything is going to come out in the final look. Alright, now I'm going to use the gel liner from STILAZZI. This is the shade Tiger Eye. And I'm using it all over as an eye base, but it's just going to give a nice warm flush color, but it's also going to keep all the shadows I place on top in place. Now I'm using the STILAZZI Spellbound palette. This is with the Sigma Soft Blend brush. I'm taking the shade Chocolate through the crease just to enhance the shape. I want to slowly build the color. I don't want to add a lot at one time. This brush is perfect for a really soft blend. I want the eye to really create a soft shape because I'm going to go back in next with a pencil that's really going to give a really winged effect without creating a wing. So it's softly building the eyeshadow so you get the definition without any harsh lines. Alright, now I'm using Fenty Flyliner in Space Cookie to define the lash line. I'm only using the liner halfway across the lid to give a lift and to create a wing effect without the hassle. I like this technique just because it gives something subtle but dramatic, and it definitely gives a more exotic appearance to the eye without having that intense harshness that sometimes a liquid wing liner can give. This is more of my quick, error-proof way of giving that exotic, flawless, dramatic eye. Now that the liner's in place, I'm going to go with Chocolatier on a mini flat liner brush, and this is just going to enhance the liner, give it a little bit more smokiness and more definition. Then I'm going to go in with the mini shader brush. This is the mini shader brush by STILAZZI also, and this just really cuts out the crease and gives more definition. And next we're going to curl the eyelashes. This is the KEVYN eyelash curler. Asley just wanted to do them herself. Then I'm going to use my favorite mascara. It's by Benefit. It's called Bad Girl Bang. It gives you perfect lashes every time. Alright, so I want a little bit more drama, so I'm going to take the shade Smoked Out on the flat liner brush, and enhance the outside wing and giving a little bit more lift to the eye. This is just going to add a little bit more drama, but without being too hard of a look, keeping it kind of soft glam. Then I'm going to take the concealer brush and clean up the shape. Now is probably my favorite part. I draw in the highlights, or I brighten the face using the JOUER Essential Pen Concealers. I place it down the nose, in the cheeks, underneath the eyes. A little bit goes a long way, but what I do is I place this product and it just really illuminates the face. I put a touch under the jawline. This really is just going to give dynamic sculpt. Then I blend out using the Sigma Soft Blend. This allows me to control the coverage but give an airbrush finish. I really love this technique because it allows you to really brighten and highlight the face and giving a really natural finish but glamorous effect. This is definitely something that in person is very flattering if done correctly. Alright, then I'm going to use the Beauty Blender and make sure that everything is blended perfectly out, that's seamless, and everything merges and you basically look like everything is completely natural. There's no cakiness, no heaviness, and that you still can see the skin texture. I'm not one to want a cakey, heavy look, so blending out is key with me. Alright, now I'm going to use a little bit of bronzer. This is by FENTY. It's a powder bronzer. I'm going to apply it to the forehead, to the cheeks, basically everywhere that I place the contour, and a dusting all across the face just for a little bit of setting and warmth. Alright, now I'm using Patrick Ta's SHISEIDO LA blush. I love this blush. It's just a very no makeup blush. I'm applying it to the apples of the cheek just to give some nice flush and warmth. For a little drama, I'm going to add a little bit of the FENTY Fly Liner in black to the bottom lash line. And then I'm going to dust a little bit of the blush just under the waterline or bottom lashes for a little bit more shape. Then to enhance the glow, I'm going to use a dusting of JOUER's Tan Line Highlighter. This is a beautiful dark highlighter that gives an extra glow to the skin without looking too ashy or too reflective. Now I'm just using a little bit of the Lorac Kawaii highlighter to the details of the face, the bridge of the nose, the inside corners of the eye. So then I'm going to dry brush, and this basically pulls any extra makeup. I'm going over any of the areas that might get cakey or that I think that might just photograph a little too heavy. This is a technique I really love. So then I'm going to use Fenty What It Do, and this is going to just set everything and kind of like make it super skin-like and not makeup-y. Alright, now liner and lipstick. I'm using Patrick Ta Oshi Single. I love these liners because they allow me to get the perfect line. The applicator is a click pen and the pencils always stay sharp, so it's perfect for lining lips. Alright, now we're going to use Oshi Single lipstick. This is just the perfect nude. It's like a terracotta nude. It's just got the most beautiful undertone for this natural glam look. Alright, now brows. So I love the Brow Fix by Eyebrow Queen. This is just going to be the perfect serum to basically place all the hairs in the direction that you want. And when I tell you, you just need a little bit goes a long way. It's going to basically hold all of those brow hairs in place in the direction that you want them. Alright, and then I'm going to use medium brown pencil by Eyebrow Queen to just fill in the little gaps and get a little bit more definition and shape to Ashley's brows, but I don't want to overdo it. But like the Patrick Ta brush, this is a mechanical brush that it still keeps the tip sharp every time that you click it. So you can make little tiny hair-like strokes every time. I love these products. Alright, so then I used the Patrick Ta Body Balm. This is a new product and this was the first time I used it. So I used it all over the body and it was amazing, but then I loved the texture, so I added a little bit to the high points of the cheeks just to give a really natural glow. Tip, if you use something on the body, you have to use it on the face. If not, it won't look cohesive. So I love this glow that it gave. It's just really luminous and looked beautiful in pictures. Alright, so since the look was so glowy, I wanted to add a little bit of gloss. This is the Diamond Gloss. It's called Rooftop by Lorac, and it's the perfect nude, and it just really completes the look. All right, there you have complexion. It's one of my favorite things. Take the time to master it. If you have any questions, leave them below. And as always, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, and share, and I'll see you next time.